ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ನನ್ನ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ದಿ ಲೈವ್ ಪಾಡ್ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ಗೆ ಸ್ವಾಗತ ಸುಸ್ವಾಗತ.
So here we have an article from Insider, right? Very well-known source talking about fast foods and the toxic chemicals that are in these foods. Now, what you have to understand is that the Food and Drug Administration, the people that pass on these chemicals and allow these chemicals to be in our food, they used to be called the Bureau of Chemistry. Let me run that back. The Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, the trustworthy source that we have, used to be called the Bureau of Chemistry before they changed their name. Look that up. So I'm just letting you know, like, they know all about the chemicals going in. They know what they're supposed to be passing, what they're not supposed to be passing. It's not about whether a Big Mac's gonna kill you tomorrow, whether a Taco Bell burrito is gonna kill you tomorrow. It is simply just good health, because these things deplete your health throughout your life. So let's get back to it. So here we have the article, right? Toxic chemicals linked to infertility found in Big Macs and Taco Bell burritos. All right, this is written by Andrea Michelson, October 27, 2021. Extremely recent. But look, this is really the sum of it. Researchers tested burgers, burritos, and pizza from 6 of the top fast food chains in the US for various chemicals. They found chemicals that have been linked to reproductive problems in more than 80% of the samples. Most Americans are exposed to multiple sources of phthalates. I found out that word was phthalates. I'm quite sure it's that. Phthalates. In their daily lives, and Black populations are especially at risk, of course. So look, most Americans know that fast food is not good for their health, especially since firms like Super Size Me and Food Inc. took a critical look at the industry in the early aughts. But consumers may realize that they could be getting a side of chemicals along with the sugar, salt, and trans fat in their fast foods meals. Lariah Edwards, a postdoctoral scientist at George Washington University, told Insider. So this woman's a scientist. She knows what she's doing. In a recent study, Edwards and colleagues ordered from 6 of the most popular fast foods chains in the US: McDonald's, Burger King, Pizza Hut, Domino's, Taco Bell, and Chipotle, and tested samples of the food for 11 plasticizing chemicals. Plasticizing chemicals. The word plasticizing has the word plastic in it. That's plastic. We need a nutrition team at the Life Network. We're gonna get it. They ordered the most popular meal at each restaurant with the typical fixings: hamburgers, chicken nuggets, and fries at the burger joints, burritos loaded with chicken, rice, beans, salsa, and more at the Tex-Mex chains, and a couple plain cheese pies from the pizza places. Generally, foods containing meats had higher levels of chemicals. More than 80% of samples contained small amounts of known phthalates, a class of chemicals used to make plastic softer and more flexible. So basically, these quote unquote plant-based meals that you're eating, right? I can assure you, I bet you they have similar chemicals to this, to where it makes the meat flexible and softer, right? To give it that kind of texture. That's what the phthalates are for. Phthalates and other plasticizers are commonly found in food packaging and gloves, despite their known effects on human health. Past studies have found people who reported eating more fast foods had higher levels of phthalates in their urine, but this is the first effort to test the food itself with new generation of plasticizers in mind. So let's just read a little bit about this, because I already told you it's linked to reproductive problems and early death. So this is very dangerous stuff. Several phthalates have been found to interfere with hormone function, which can lead to cascade of problems with fertility and child development. So giving your child fast food at a consistent rate is not a good idea. You should cook. So people with high levels of phthalates in their urine were also found to be more likely to die early, especially due to heart disease in a recent study. That's obvious, right? We know people that eat fast food have terrible heart conditions and meats in general. While one Big Mac probably won't kill you, it's important to consider your phthalate exposure overall. Edwards said, exposure in food can build on other sources of chemicals like cosmetics and cleaning products. So basically, your cleaning products as well as your cosmetics, things you put in your hair, your face, all that stuff, you got to be very cautious about what you're doing and try to be as natural as possible. Cut it out with all those big name brand stuff. I know other alternatives can get expensive sometimes, but if you do your research properly, you can find holistic ways to keep yourself clean. So here we are. Racial residential segregation means Black people may be especially at risk for phthalate exposures. So here we go. The study authors noted that certain racial and ethnic groups are more likely to eat fast food than others because of many factors, including a history of racial residential segregation. Predominantly Black neighborhoods tend to have a higher density of fast food restaurants and less access to affordable fresh foods, Edwards said. Fresh food, Edwards said. Got it. And it's pretty much true. I mean, when you think about it, the place I think of is South Central Los Angeles, which is obviously condensedly Black population, right? Black and brown population at that. But certainly Black people are living there. Every single corner, not every single block, like every single corner, there is a fast food joint, churches, church's chicken. What else? All kind of pizza places. There's McDonald's probably every 2 blocks, right? Burger King, Taco Bell, all kind of nonsense in these blocks. And there's very few farmers markets in these places. And so this perpetuates bad health. So unless you're reading this article, you wouldn't know better. So because Black Americans consume more fast food than any other racial group, they may be exposed to higher levels of phthalates and other chemicals. Black women have also been found to have elevated levels of some phthalates and parabens in their urine because the chemicals are used in their hair products, although they're often left off the labels. So not only are these chemicals bad for you, but they're not even listing them on the labels. This is almost illegal. So just moving on, 5 of the 6 restaurants included in the study did not respond to insiders' requests for comment. They didn't want to talk to insider because they knew it was bullshit. And here you go with McDonald's. A representative of McDonald's replied, since 2015, McDonald's has prohibited its suppliers from using phthalates in guest packaging and gloves used in our restaurants. As scientific understanding of the ways phthalates are unintentionally introduced into the food system grows, we'll continue to evaluate and innovate our processes. Whatever, McDonald's, you're one of the worst. So my whole point is be cautious with these fast foods and learn how to cook. And hopefully we can grow some kind of component of that where we can get a couple of chefs on here to just teach people on the Life Network, how to cook a basic meal, how to get by, through a day without having to stop at these options. I get it, right? It's cheap and most of us don't make a lot of money. I get that. But there are alternatives. And if you're disciplined, this stuff can work and it can be very inexpensive. Trust me. So with that, be healthy and be good. All right. Peace.